All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Kart Chaser, where we have went on a short delay here. It rained, and the last session was declared official due to precipitation with 2 laps to go. It is now declared a driver's option, and we are back hot here with the next run for 206 Senior and 206 Heavy to be running their way along. Heavy Masters to go through. Only 2 drivers have elected for wet tires. Again, we did have rain. We declared the last session. We took a brief intermission. But here is the thing I will also say. I just refreshed the radar. And there's a band of rain to the north of the circuit. There's a band of rain to the south of the circuit going directly through Bushnell. Then there's a split of clear that just happens to lay over the circuit. I'm starting to believe more and more in that NASCAR-style vortex theory for racing here. It is very windy. It feels like it could rain at any millisecond. But based on the radar and the direction, we are literally sitting in a split between 2 storms. This is absolutely ridiculous. Only 2 drivers out on wet tires, Carlos Matute and Pedro Crispum. Everyone else appears to have elected for dry tires.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting with, the rain has fallen, but there's no rain currently coming down to the circuit, so this is going to slightly dry out, and you can already see some drivers just really trying to generate heat into those tires. And we are going to go ahead and get ready for 10 minutes plus 2 laps on our penultimate race of the day here, penultimate race of the weekend. As crazy as that is to say, it's been a fantastic weekend, but we still got racing here as karts are about to go side by side. And it's green flag, and away we go. And here we go. This is going to be a very interesting one. Will Crispum or Matute be able to make up any ground on those different tires? The alternate tires, it's going to be an interesting one. They won't have as much grip on the dry, but on the somewhat of a wet surface, they might be able to get some advantages and really just make their way through the field. We'll see if that strategy call was the right call to make, or if they should have just hung up that strategy with the rain. We're going to see now as Moschetti started ahead of Summer Whited and Jaden Casas as they continue to battle their way through, coming into the twin hairpins for the first time. And here we go, making their way on through. Is anyone going to make a lunge up the inside? Somebody's going to attempt it, but it does not result in the pass being made. They will tuck back in as they go through to begin the next lap. And it's going to be a good run now. Casas did get ahead against Whited, and a few drivers have dropped down the order. But Crispum and Matute, they might have just made that wrong strategy as James Hare has jumped the both of them in the Masters category.
I'm going to say it here, taking a look at the front, Rochetti and Casas going side by side. Rochetti to the outside, Casas to the inside. Summer Whited trying to make it a 2-for-1 special here as everyone stacks up behind and along here. Summer Whited does drop back into third, but Casas did get ahead of Rochetti. Just taking a look here, the dry tires seem to be able to handle whatever precipitation we had here, and that has already dried through. I already see a dry line forming as well, so unfortunately it does look like the wet weather tires were the wrong call. The treaded tires were the wrong call. Staying on slicks appears to have been the right decision. As long as you are a little smart with it, I think that staying on slicks definitely was the right way to go. There's not even a puddle formed before turn 15, which to me would be the big indicator of when to flip those tires through. But as of right now, everything seems to be going well for our front runners as they all work their way along up the bridge to go down the bridge. Jaden Casas leading Carlo Rochetti with Dylan Almeida in third now, with Summer Whited down to fourth, and Esteban Munoz in fifth. Your top 8 all nose to tail right now.
Yeah, and I think that if the weather stays like this, which it's pretty likely to stay like this at this stage, then our final race of the day is all going to just be, it's going to be slicks throughout, I can already imagine. As here we go, it's going to be a move up the inside of the first part of the twin hairpins. But you unfortunately get stuck around the outside, and that's going to be a move And that's going to be a fantastic move there as they make their way through. Now it looks like your top 6 are now nose to tail. And it is going to be Carlo Rochetti back in the lead, with Dylan Almeida now jumping up into second place, with Eduardo Seiker currently with the fastest lap with a 1 minute point 814. And action is all over the place. It's going to be the 315 now, having an opponent on the inside. I think that is Eduardo Seiker. Going to go ahead and try to get the move done on to Ethan Bellis as they make their way through. And some good battles happening here in the Senior Master 206 category. And honestly, the battles are not even remotely done yet.
Not at all. These battles are going to continue to develop up and down the grid, and we still have plenty of time. Still 6 minutes plus 2 laps here in our penultimate final of the weekend for these drivers, and nobody seems to be running away from one another right now, which of course, remember the 206 package, it's very heavy on momentum. So you have to be able to carry momentum, carry a bit of draft, and really keep things moving in order to get the most out of these karts, which seems to be exactly what we see going on right now for all of these drivers as they work their way through down the hill into turn number 5. Your top 3 very close together right now for Rochetti, Almeida, and Jake Cassis, all very close through and not giving each other any breathing room. Here's the problem with Into. If they start to fight even a little bit, that opens up the gap for Whited, Bellis, Munoz, Sitcher behind to start closing in and going for the pass. So these top 3 have to play it strategic and smart. 5 minutes left, plenty of time for things to change any way you would think it could change one way or the other as they work their way along to start the next lap with under 5 minutes to go.
Under 5 minutes and 2 laps to go is going to be the call here as we continue to race our way through, as James Hare gets another pass on a 206 senior in the 206 Masters class. He now gets ahead, and actually Sola is also going to get ahead of Zachary Seymour. Zachary Seymour's actually dropped to the bottom. I wonder if there's any contact or some kind of moment happening as we go side by side under the tunnel. Nose to tail. This is a beautiful 4-way fight. It is going to be Seiker ahead of Esteban Munoz, ahead of Ethan Bellis, and Summer Whited, all battling together now side by side. And it is going to be Summer Whited shuffled to the back. It is Esteban Munoz. They're going 3 wide now, coming into the penultimate corner. And that is going to be a good battle here. I think Esteban Munoz did make some good spots here. Actually, that's Eduardo Seiker, who has moved up into 5th, just by Summer Whited, and that is actually going to be Ethan Bellis, who got shuffled around earlier on. And the drivers are going to continue to make their way up and down the bridge. Can we see an overtaking opportunity? It is Seicher on Whited. And this is going to be a good fight here. And just battles happening all over this field. Seicher is trying to catch up to Whited, but got a teammate right behind of Esteban Munoz as they are trying to find any kind of position here with 3 minutes plus 2 laps to go.
3 minutes left to go. Plenty of time for things to change up and down this field. You can tell just how antsy these drivers are, ready to get this run going here as we see side-by-side action still making the move along here for 3rd place bag. Look at that continuing its way through as that was Whited and Seicher battling it out. They stay in the order they were in, but for a brief moment there was a flip-flop along. And here we go now, because if you're defending 4th place, that's a hard ask here as Seicher will go to the inside to get past Summer Whited. Can the teammate follow along of Esteban Munoz? The answer is yes. Summer Whited shuffled out, loses 2 places, 3 karts, 4 karts wide. As there's contact, there's a spin around there. That's the 385 around. That is Shorzeski, who has spun through, unfortunately spinning further back in the pack as the checkup occurred, because Whited, Seicher, Munoz, Bellis all decided to go 3-4 wide. They're going out of the hill. They were trying to fight for position, and that changes everything in the battle for them as they are up in the front now. We've separated everything out, shuffled everything along, and now battles will continue for fourth place forward to the end.
Insane moments happening here in the penultimate final of the weekend here in Bushnell Motorsports Park, Florida. And this has been anything but an ordinary weekend for these drivers. Rain on and off all throughout the weekend and just everything happening. There has not been a dull moment in any of these races here in Bushnell. And we're still seeing some fantastic battles happening all throughout the field. It is going to be about 4-ish laps to go here in Bushnell. They're going to go ahead and make their way on through. And it's going to be 1 minute to go plus the 2 laps. So it actually might be just 3 laps to go here in our penultimate final of the day. Less than 1 minute to go, and the fastest lap is a 59.8. And that was for the driver in P2, Jaden Casas, as they go through. And I don't think it's been officially declared 3 to go, but it's practically 3 to go here. And it's still a beautiful 3-way fight as they are all just trying to fight for the position. And James Hare has actually dropped down 2 spots on the last lap. The driver who has done really well in the 206 Masters category here this weekend. Dropping a bit through the field, but he keeps his position in class.
Keeping that position in class is going to be so important here moving into the later stages of this race as these drivers continue to battle along. Time is officially off the clock. We are now down to laps remaining, and it will be 2 laps to go when our leader crosses the line. There is your leader down at the bottom of your shot. There's second and third place here coming through as they have not sorted it out at all. Cassis versus Alameda, currently your battle, or Almeida for the battle into second place. Who will stand on that middle step of the podium and who will be on the third step? That is what they are trying to decide. Popsicle sticks out in the air, up the hill to go, down we go, and this second place battle is really showing itself. Look over the shoulder there, Almeida trying to decide if there's anyone to help behind. The answer is no. Your gap behind is 6 seconds, so there is time for you to battle through and hold on to a momentum. If you can go for the pass, this is the thing too with 206, when they start battling, that momentum reverses out, and then all of a sudden, if they're not careful and they start battling too much too early, all of a sudden fourth place back close right in on these 2 drivers.
Yeah, exactly that. And we know that anything can happen in these races. I mean, especially if the rain just decides that it wants to drop again, which we're not expecting it to, but I mean, the whole weekend has been decided by expect the unexpected. Last lap, white flag is out, and the battle for second place is still going on. It is going to be Jada Casas and then Dylan Almeida trying to fight for P2, trying to become best of the rest, as Carlo Roschetti has pretty much proven that he is going to be the driver that is going to take the cake in 206 senior. And going nose to tail now, Almeida is closing the 305, trying to get ahead, and you can just see the little bit of the tuck as he is trying to get any kind of momentum, but side of the inside, a little bit of contact, the hand is thrown, and Almeida will have to settle back in. That might have been the only opportunity that the 305 had. Might have just went out of the window as they come to the line now. And Carlo Roschetti is going to win our penultimate final today. Carlo Roschetti wins, and Jada Casas and Dylan Almeida, Eduardo Syker, Summer Whited, Ethan Bellis, and then Leonardo Fernandez Palante, and then Esteban Munoz, Jacob Trzeski, and James Hare, rounding out your top 10 with James Hare winning in the 206 Masters category here tonight.
What an absolutely wild penultimate final. We still have one more final to go. Coming up next, it's T4 Senior and Master, the final of round 6 of the Florida Karting Challenge. Coming up next.